I think it's safe to rest here now.
Okay.
Seriously?
Well...
What the?
I wonder if something happened.
Oh? Yeah! Yeah. Why?
What?
Hmm. Yeah. Got it. Great. I hate that woman.
She was a handful, wasn't she?
Hmm. Well... Yeah. I don't think I'll ever quite warm up to her. But I can respect her. That can't be. No.
Oh, wow!
Hey. Ugh.
Uh-huh.
Oh?
Finally made it.
Okay, off we go.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Dragon Swarm! Falling Storm! Azure Storm!
Now! Piercing and roll!
Blow away! Radiant Blast! Azure Storm!
Leave it to me!
Flaming Meteor!
Back into the fray!
Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine! This is barely target practice.
Then why bother fighting them?
Because I certainly won't run away from a battle.
There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Ren and eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. Yeah! I've got something. Dagnabbit! It got away. We've got a lively one! Good fishers always keep their cool. All right. I'll let you go this time. There we go. We can get a good meal out of this fella.
Hopefully it tastes better than it looks.
I've got something. She's got a good size to her, all told.
I can't believe you caught that with a rod. Amazing.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. Where should I cast my line? I've got something. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Ha! Is this what I think it is? This fish is way bigger than I was expecting.
You tamed a real beast.
Reel it in. That's not a fish I see often.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
Ha! Reel it in. That's not a fish I see often.
So what's it to be? Grilled or broiled?
All right. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Not too shabby, friend.
Ha! I've got something. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
That went pretty well.
Hup. All right. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
So what's it to be? Grilled or broiled?
Ha! There we go. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
Hup. Reel it in. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
There certainly are a wide array of fish on Dana.
Ha! Reel it in. I reeled us in a big one.
We can make a real feast out of this bad boy.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me. I hate camping out.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
This shall suffice. Please, everyone, have as much as you like.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
See you tomorrow. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the Resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
Don't get careless.
Don't tell me!
Sleep now!
Tiger Blade! Airborne Beast! Get behind me!
Flying freaks!
Far enough!
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Yeah! Nice technique!
In here!
I'm going in!
Azure
That's it!
Dragon
Tiger Blade! Do it!
away!
Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Good to know my training is paying off.
All right. There's nowhere to run from my heart.
When he slows down, that's our chance!
In here! It's like trying to keep up with a
No
wolf!
further!
Tiger Annihilation!
Dragon form!
It's time.
Falling storm!
You're mine!
Cyan Airgun! Dance in the wind!
You're mine!
Air thrust! Hit! Flame of Falling storm! Raging flame!
Struck!
Reload! In here! Glacial
Take
spear!
this.
Pierce the evil! This one's mine!
Here I come!
Photon
not
laser!
done.
Now or never.
Pierce spread! Spread! Glacial spear! Pierce this one's mine!
Can't get out of this.
Tiger blade!
Here I
I'm
come.
out! What?
Prepare to be seen.
Falling storm! Dance in the wind! Let's keep up the fire!
Doubling! In an instant! Impact block!
There! This one's mine!
Dragon form! Azure storm!
Annihilation! Water snake!
Blow away!
Shield!
Here I come!
Now!
From down!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
I feel stronger. I mean, a bit.
Good. We're counting on you, Rinwell.
On me? Well, I'll do my best. I think I'll read my book a little more.
Good night, everyone. All right, guys. Ready to go?
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Little help!
Can't get out of this!
Go here!
Dragon Swarm!
That's it!
Come and face me! Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for you truly!
Ready and raring!
Dragon
Swarm!
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the clock.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me. Do it!
Here I come!
Now!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Vaguely start
You're
going in
mine!
again!
Dragon Swarm!
By the power... Dig on!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Going in! That's it! Arrow Squall!
Raining
I'm assuming an airborne target.
Dragon Swarm!
Freeze Lancer!
I'll pick you all off! Enough done!
One more! Air thrust!
Strike!
None shall escape my
Here I
judgment!
come! New escape!
Here comes!
Dragon Swarm!
Now!
Azure Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Swarm!
Lightning Storm! Air thrust! We won that by a mile! It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah, we used to run up.
Little help!
Enter Storm! Dragon Swarm!
Into the shadows!
Right here! I got it!
Primed and ready!
Strike!
Tiger Blade!
Your mind!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that thing.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say? These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Now!
This one's
Air
mine!
thrust!
The heavens must be smiling.
Out of my way!
Take this!
Going in! My astral energy
Take
to
this!
the wind!
Feel! Dragon Swarm!
Raging Cascade! Annihilation!
You're mine!
Now for some strike!
We've got flyers!
I'm done here! Let a marksman handle it! I'm gone!
All yours! Dragon Swarm!
Thunder Peal! Freeze Laser!
Raining Slash! Everybody okay? What? This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine!
Flame of Fury! I'm gone! Water! Here's my
Dragon Swarm!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
That's a pretty fancy skill there.
All the better to protect you with, my dear.
Then I'll leave the front line to you.
Hi, Hoodle!
In a bind?
Let's go, Grayson! Go get Raging Cascade!
Burn!
Water! Here's my call!
Dragon Swarm!
Air thrust!
This one's mine!
Flying free! What if they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
This one's mine!
Slash!
Searing Flame! Not on my watch! I never miss! Now! Frozen!
Hammer!
Nicely done!
All thanks to you!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Dragon Flame of Fury! Burning
Pierce evil!
Dragon
Make it rain!
Too fast! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Excited! And again!
Enter
Raging Cascade!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and... I can feel my power growing!
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Gotta break through! Enter Storm! Dragon Swarm!
Water! Hear my
Rain Slash! Here I come! It's on!
Far
yourself finished!
I think I'm getting stronger.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Saar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
I'll do my best!
Dragon Form! Raining Fire! Strike! Here I come! Dragon Form!
Do it! Control!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Good to know my training is paying off.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Now or never. My judgment. Unconfiscated. Here goes!
Take this!
Blow away!
A whirling struggle.
Make it rain!
Cyclone! Astral energy! Full throttle!
On guard! On guard!
Dragon Form!
Cyan Listen!
Raining
Company!
Flash!
Mega Leave the enemy's arms to me!
Mission plates here!
Azure Storm! Dragon Form!
Time to stop! Freezing! Do it!
Raining Slash!
Lightning
That's an
order!
interesting
I
set.
It's part of the Renin style.
A style made of both sides.
You're stronger than any Renin soldier I've ever met.
They don't just let anybody have a place in the Royal Guard.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. With your flames and my technique,
We're stronger together than we are apart.
Go no further!
no further.
Look sharp!
Dragon Form!
Lightning order! Dance in the wind! Hear my
Not today.
Photon
Far enough!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
An opponent like this should be easy.
None shall escape my
Armor
judgment!
won't save you!
Dynamic
Dragon
supernova!
Form!
Light after dance in the wind! In here!
Blow away! Damn it!
Let's get you all tucked away! This splendor is mine!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down. Dragon Form! Azure Storm!
Do it! Thunder Field!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Evening smelling
Freezing
to me.
storm!
Yeah, and the pummeling to me!
Eat dirt!
That's it!
My turn! Void Blast! Strike!
Now!
Void Blast!
Frozen!
Hammer! Everyone still in one piece?
Yep. I barely worked up a sweat.
That equipment should come in handy.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Take this!
Azure Storm!
This one's mine!
Lightning Orb!
Raging Lightning!
Shield!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Now!
Not by a long shot.
Strike! You picked the wrong
I think
fight!
we can get through this.
Don't let up until it's over!
Who said anything about letting off? These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Dragon Swarm! Mine! Azure Storm! Dragon Swarm!
Going in!
Raining Flash! I'm not done!
This one's mine! Raging Cascade!
Take this!
Lightning!
Strike!
Do it!
Not a chance!
This will come in handy! Tiger Blade!
Ignite! We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart. Astral energy! Full throttle!
This one's mine!
No escape! This one's all mine!
Make it rain!
Blow away!
Up and at 'em! Let's go! I think I'm getting stronger.